Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Sorry, I've just been laughing the fact that Pep's he's just said, I love it. Pep's just said in press conference, I have more info than the Twitter guys. Today I am right. So Pep there is confirming that he's got a burner account. Pep, if you're watching, mate, I love you. I love you loads, and if I'm one of the Twitter guys, I apologise sincerely. Do know we only bitch because we are little bitches, and we love you loads. This is the Fan View Live, so if you don't know what this is where I chat to some of you guys after the game. I keep it open for members and patrons. It's my way of saying thank you to those guys for supporting the channel. It is massively appreciated, of course. I know Kevel and Louis are backstage right now. Kevel, I'm going to add you to the so I can edit you into the video. So even though I'll add you, mate, don't worry, I won't be talking to you until I'll come to you, if that makes sense. So I need to do some editing in the background because I need to line Kevel up into the actual stream. But yeah, if you want to chat, if you are a member on a Patreon, the link will be, you'll be able to find it in the community tab as always. We can chat about the game tonight because it was a wonderful, wonderful game of football and I absolutely loved it. 7-0, 7 fucking nil. I can't be too loud because I know the wife and baby are asleep downstairs, but 7-0, man, 7-0. Absolutely majestic stuff. And once again, if you're watching, Pep, love you, mate. We moan because we're useless. That's why we do it. We moan because we have nothing else to do with our lives, and because that's what football does to you. It's wonderful and it's brilliant. So I'm going to go to Kevel in a second. So once again, FanView Live, you can have your say and join by going to the link, clicking those links there, or going over to the community tab and find the link. Right, I'm going to jump over now to Kevel. I think he's waiting very patiently. 1 second. Hello, my friend. How you doing? You okay? You good?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. I can hear you. That was good, wasn't it? That was good fun.
Yeah. What a great day to be a City fan, huh?
A wonderful day. A wonderful day. Kemal, talk me how you're feeling after that performance, mate.
Absolutely buzzing, man. I remember just like a month ago we were here chatting after the
Yep.
Spurs game about lack of creativity or like just poor performances, but here we are a month later with like 8 wins in a row or something like that in the bag, and we are right there in the title race. We're right there in the Champions League,
Yeah.
FA Cup. We are there. So
As Guardiola
it's a
said, we
great,
are there. That's what he
yeah.
was saying the other day. We are there, and he's right. Like to be there at this stage of the season is all you can do, really, isn't it, man? You've got to be there and thereabouts
Yep.
to win it. You can't win it if you're not in it, basically. And things have changed since that Spurs game. We were on a decent run of form. We're unbeaten in 9. Won about 4 or 5 in a row, something like that. What has changed for you? What's been the catalyst for this?
I was nervous before the game. To be honest, I didn't think that we needed so many midfielders and defenders, but I guess I saw Pep talking before the game about transitions of Leipzig and
Yeah.
them being deadly on the counter. So I guess in a sense I saw it, but I thought he was overdoing it. I thought there were too many defenders, but I mean, as he said on Twitter, I have more info than you guys. So
Yeah, he was right, wasn't he? It's funny, isn't it? He's always pretty much right, Like he's
yeah.
human, so he's not always right, but mostly
I mean,
right.
same with Kevin De Bruyne. So I saw some of the news journalists criticizing Pep for talking about Kevin in public about how he's not been in a good form, and Pep just said he just needs to go back to the
Yeah,
basics, move into the channel, and then make simple passes.
and that's what he did.
And
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And he was back to his best. He moved left, right, got back in defense, got back in attack, got opportunities in the box, outside the box with the goal. All the passes were there. I guess it's just like same old Kevin, I guess.
same old Kevin, always brilliant, always wonderful. The thing is, as well, like I was watching, I had when I was editing one of the videos before I did this, I was watching the CBS coverage because I had it up on my laptop, and Thierry Henry was talking about KDB, and he said that KDB sometimes struggles if things aren't perfect. Like he demands excellence, and it can affect his game a little bit. And I wonder if it's because he starts to try and force things himself, and that's there's
Hmm.
always signs of that with KDB that he starts to try and force it. But like when the team is a fully functioning unit and playing at the best, it gives KDB the confidence and maybe the calmness to go and express himself. I reckon, and I think also he probably just needed a bit of a rest, by the way, because I think
Yeah,
he's played
exactly.
a lot of football this season. I think he's played more than we realise when you look at the stats. Um,
I mean, even before the World Cup, like the cup, like the Fulham game. I don't know if you remember when he got the penalty in the 94th minute,
Yeah,
which Erling scored. He wasn't happy when he got. He was just knackered. He
yeah,
ran
he
a
was,
lot.
and
I
he
mean,
was
he had
great
a
that
good
game,
good
but he
game.
was exhausted,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
yeah. So going into the World Cup, he didn't particularly look great. He was better than other
Yeah,
Belgian players, but he just, I feel like over that couple of months, he just lost the interest in football. And then now that the team is starting to go back to his best, he's been in and out. So he wants that fire again in him of like proving that I'm the best. You know?
I think he's just a very honest human being, and
Yeah,
I think he's just
exactly.
been tired a little bit, like mentally.
He
He's
said,
got a
"I've been here
beautiful young
8 years."
family, you know, and I think
Yep.
like he's one of those things where he's always getting a little bit older, and I think sometimes I think his head's in it, but I think he's definitely been a little bit like jaded is probably the word I'd use,
Hmm.
and I think he's been a little bit not distracted, but definitely going through the motions. And look, he's a I get that because I felt that personally as well. With various things in
Yeah.
my life, and I do it. And at some point you'll have a month or two at work where you're like, I'm struggling at the moment. And anyone watching this will have a month or two at work, at school, in life where they struggle because guess what? They're human beings, and they'll feel tired and they'll feel jaded. And I felt the same. I like because I've
Hmm.
obviously had the son recently, and I've struggled to make videos because I've been so tired. Like I guess I've been underperforming like KDB. So like it's
Yeah.
just exactly the same thing, but on a very different level. And it doesn't mean we're all not capable of doing our jobs. It's just KDB is human, I guess, and
Hmm.
ultimately, when it mattered today, he stood up, didn't he? And he was great.
Yeah, I mean, similarly, during COVID, when I was in university, my classes got difficult. It was all online, so I guess even I struggled. But
Yeah,
in
of
the end,
course, yeah.
I got the degree, I got
Well done.
good grades, and then now here I am with just like Kevin. He's back to his best.
Exactly, man. Exactly. You're going to score some winners in the Champions League game.
So, same with Gundogan, Bernardo, Grealish as well. Grealish has been on fire over the last month.
And we've not even mentioned
Our
Haaland yet, really.
Yeah, he's. We don't even need to talk about it. He's that good.
Go on,
Uh,
let's talk about him anyway, man. Erling Haaland. Just what have you made of
he,
him?
I think he's a freak. In a good way. Of course, his finishes were crazy, but I particularly want to talk about the third goal that he scored.
Yeah,
Off the corner of like Ruben Diaz header to the post, and then there were like three Leipzig players ahead of him. They all like turned around and saw the ball, and like even before like any of them moved, Haaland was halfway. He's like behind two players, and he still got in front of them.
it's
It's
hunger,
just
isn't
that
it? It's hunger.
reaction,
Yeah.
and yeah, reaction mentality. It's not about like being tap in or like it's just like being there. He's just always there.
That's the thing is, even with that pace and physicality he's got, if you're not stood in the right place, you're not going to get it anyway. Like he's
Yeah.
always near it, even with his pace. Even without his pace, if that makes sense. So it's just an understanding of the game, isn't it? Really, and like the intelligence that he's got is just, it's ridiculous, man. He's absolutely brilliant. How are you feeling about the Champions League running now? Like, who do you want in the next round? Are you feeling confident, and how far do you think we can go?
Um, let's look at the draws. I think I would want to avoid Chelsea. There's the English quarterfinals team,
Yeah,
Spurs and Liverpool history. So
yeah,
avoid Chelsea, avoid Real Madrid, avoid Bayern, maybe even avoid Benfica. But both of the Milan teams are up for grabs. I guess avoid Napoli as well. And then whichever one's left, I think Porto or someone. I'm not sure.
yeah. I wouldn't mind Benfica, but I think Napoli are the underdogs this year. I reckon they look lively, don't they? They look scary.
Hmm.
I wouldn't like to play them. There's like Monaco vibes to them, from years ago. Like
Yeah.
like they captured lightning in a bottle. They look really, really good. We'll see. Kevel, thank you so much for chatting, mate. It's been an
Yep.
absolute pleasure. I'm going to jump over to Louis in a second, but mate, thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure.
Have a
It's been
good
really
one.
great
See you.
fun. Catch you in a bit, man. See you later. Kevel, the superstar. That was lovely chatting to him as always. I will be jumping over to Louis in a second. This is the Fan View Live. We can have a chat if you want to. The link, if you are a member, is in the community tab over on YouTube. I'm going to bring Louis in now. 1 second. Hello, mate. How you doing? You good?
Hello, mate. Yeah, good. How about you?
Yeah, yeah, I enjoyed that, man. It was fun. Much more fun than I was expecting tonight. I was not expecting 7-0.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was really weird because I was expecting a tight, nervy game, like a
Same.
3-1, 3-2, maybe. Like we would win it, but it wouldn't have been as comfortable as it was tonight. And I think Owen Hargreaves said it in commentary on BT, saying like Ian Dark said to him, like they wanted to make it look like Leipzig were that bad, and he was just like, no, no, no. City were that good against an impressive Leipzig team, and I don't know how we got like. I was thinking of like how it would be against Dortmund, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Like at the Etihad where Jude gets that goal in the first, the first goal, and then we come back with 2 weak, unbelievable goals in Stones and Haaland, with a caveat of a brilliant but reckless fullback.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's how I saw it going as well. Like I thought it'd be similar to that as well. And but you know, City would just. I mean, I don't think it's hard to. Like Champions League games are so weird. They have a different edge to them than a league game in general, because they're very much about being clinical. Like about just taking your chances and so on. They're not always going to be like the most electric football you'll see, but they're more about being ruthless, I guess. And City are often ruthless in this competition, but we were tonight, weren't we?
Yeah, I definitely love that we did it, but at the same time, I'm like, why not against Liverpool on the first, Arsenal, whoever we play in the quarterfinals or the semi-finals or the final of the Champions League? If we get there, it's like
maybe Haaland's the difference.
Yeah.
A killer. I think he has a different mentality.
He's a joke. He's actually a joke. Like the way he scored his goals, I'm like, are you just like thinking back and feel like you laugh your head off. Just like it's uncanny how like where he is at the right time. It's like what Pep wants in every player, like from when we were before that, like with Sane's brought into Sterling or De Bruyne to whoever's in the box. It's just like that, and like Haaland's just like here, and then he gets there tonight, and it's just like
I don't know how he does it. I really don't. It's just it's instinctive. Honestly, I think Guardiola once said you can't teach that, and I think you generally can't. I think you just. I don't even know if he knows how he's doing it. It's just like he just sort of knows where. I don't know how he knows where to be, because how could you know where the ball's going to go but constantly be pretty much where it is? He must plan it. He must practice it. I don't know. He must be. Fuck knows. I don't understand it. But all I know is that it's just remarkable. It must be something about your sense of where the ball's going to go or move, or you must find the one bit of space that the ball. I don't know. I don't understand it at all.
It's that comedian who was like City hired to be there in the pre-season. He's a Nordic meat shield. Shout out to that guy, by the way. He's an absolute legend. He's a Nordic meat shield, and he just knows where to go.
He does, man. Like, it's ridiculous. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the Champions League now? What was your general mood before this game about our Champions League hopes? Has it changed?
I still go, and I'm still standing by it that. If someone I'll still get offered it unless we have the chance of like someone saying we like Arsenal drop points in 2 of the games and we win all our games, including against Arsenal. I still go with I want to be second in the Premier League because Arsenal have been that good this season, and we win the Champions League.
I want to win both.
Yeah, I'm the same, but I just got this feeling Arsenal just got something about them, like the way that we had in 2012. They just got something. They got something in them. I don't know what it is, but it's just they got something that will make them win the Premier League this season.
Yeah, no,
I just got that. I just got that feeling that they're going to win it this season, and if they do, like. Hands up and say fair play to them.
League, though, man? Because
I think tonight proves, because if it's not for Haaland, we win it only 2-3-0.
Do you reckon? Well, I mean, we would have been taking that at the start of the day, wouldn't
we? And yeah, that's what. Sorry, I got a nephew.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Should we leave it there, man? Should we leave it there? Should we jump on to it?
No, just one more. No, just one more. But yeah, it's yeah. I think winning the Champions League more important this season for me.
I agree, absolutely agree. I think we've won the league so many times.
Yeah.
Like, in general, that I think we're ready to win the. I wouldn't be. I'm always the Premier League first, but right now I've seen enough, and I need to see City win the Champions League again. You know, and I think to
Yeah.
what I do for Kev, I want to see KDB win it. You know, I want him to. I want his champions. I want his statue to be him holding the Champions League trophy. You know, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And it could happen. It could happen, Louis, man. It really could.
Yeah. It just feels like tonight is why we. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. All right.
Right. Catch you
All
later,
right.
man. See you later, dude. Bye bye.
Cheers, man.
Family, there we go. Hey, it is late, to be fair. I'm trying to keep my voice down as well because it is... What time is it? It's 11 o'clock. It's pretty late here in the UK. And definitely the little ones are in bed. I'm going to go to Guy. 1 second. How you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How about you, man?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. Tired, but I'm happy and satisfied. Sum that up for me, mate, if you can. Like, what happened tonight?
This was the most fun City performance I've seen, and I think this season and probably the last season as well. It's not just the result; it's just we played so well.
Yeah.
I want to put some respect on Pep Guardiola's name. I mean, I know it's a joke, but I cannot stand seeing the constant bedwetting pregame forever. I even wrote in your chat before the game, I think. And it's like,
Yeah,
what? Because Foden is not playing and it's just Bernardo, we're gonna suddenly no, we're Manchester City. Unless he does something truly insane, like playing Scott Carson up top, just trust the manager. He knows what he's doing. And on a more like substantial level, I think after like 10-15 minutes, you saw why he chose that lineup. It wasn't even the scoreline. It was, oh, Leipzig are pressing really hard here, and our passing was excellent. It was so good. It was slick. It was crisp. They couldn't get a bite. We bypassed them. You saw through balls to Haaland, and that's what won us the game. That's what got us the goals. And I do think that it's the like underrated aspect of this victory, because obviously it's 7-0, but an underrated aspect is the lineup and the game from Pep, the game plan.
No, you got it right. You absolutely did get it right, and I'm sort of the same with you. Like, largely, like, unless he's a bunch of mad players, I was just slightly joking about it before the game, but it was still a good team. You know, it was still a good team. Obviously, it's one of those things where
it was nervy because it's the second leg of a game that you're drawn to. You're like, you don't want anything to go wrong.
He's not playing Kyle Walker. You're thinking, oh, he's sort of messing around here, and I think it's because you've seen him do the whole Bernardo on the right in big games before. And it's not always worked, but still, even when that happens, I always feel like we still should probably win the game because it's still a better 11 than their 11. And Pep is always justified if he plays a team that has Gundogan, Bernardo, and De Bruyne and Rodri in it. He's justified because it's Gundogan, Bernardo, De Bruyne, and Rodri. You know, like, ultimately, like, it makes sense for him to do that because those players are still high enough quality. So I can never really complain if good players are on the pitch, if that makes sense.
If I don't see like an obvious flaw, I just assume that he knows what he's doing. If, like, for instance, not playing a DM in Champions League final, that's a very obvious flaw that we can all point out. That wait, no, that's actually a problem, and they're going to exploit it like that, and they did. Playing Fernandinho, right back,
Foden, out of position as well that day, and this guy, he played a few people. I'm like, oh, don't. Oh. I forgot about that. I'm forgetting about it.
So that's the one I'm saying. Like, that's the standard. That's the bar for me. Something truly insane. This is nothing.
Exactly, and ultimately he was right again tonight. And I said it on my match reaction. I feel like we've been building towards a performance like that because I think our football has been getting better. For the past couple of months. It's not been exceptional, but it's been slowly getting better, and the quality of City's play has been improving. For when was it really? Like, I'm trying to think which game it was where it felt like all of a sudden things had clicked into place a little bit.
Arsenal.
Yeah, I also feel like it was possibly before that. Let's have a think. Let me have a look at the results because the football started to get better.
Maybe Wolves.
Yeah, Spurs 4-2 as well. You know, like,
but
the
we
first half
lost
of the United game, I remember feeling confident because we had the Southampton game we lost in the quarterfinals, but then the first half of United, we were starting to play really well until they had that really weird Rashford goal. But I remember thinking the football looks good that game, and I went on Twitter. And I was like, I swear we played well in that game until the referee fucked us over. And I think since
I'm
then,
still mad about that one.
yeah, I think since then we've been slowly getting better. Like Forest, we were excellent until we didn't score, and then Bournemouth, and then Arsenal away, and Villa 3-1, and we've been getting better slowly. But I think like that was the most composed we've been in a long time, and I think we're still getting better, guy. In general.
Yeah, it has been bumpy, but I think the trend line is there. I wouldn't say that every single game we've improved from the previous one,
No.
but I do think that the trend line has been positive.
It's been like that, hasn't it? Like that kind of up and down.
Yeah. I did say, like, obviously he scored 5 goals today and he's an unbelievable player. But yeah, I thought, what can you say about this player? Every praise you give about him is justified. I do think that I actually didn't like his performance against Palace, even though he scored a penalty.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually one of his weakest performances
I
for
agree.
City, and the reason was that his runs didn't seem as potent as the start of the season. And today he didn't really need the runs, because did you know all 5 of his goals had no assists? No one assisted him in any of the goals.
Penalty doesn't count. The other one was second one was off the crossbar from De Bruyne, so that doesn't count. The third one was the scruffy one from Diaz's header, so that doesn't count. Fourth one, deflection from the keeper, was it? Fifth one, the same, I think.
The fourth one was he headed it, the keeper saved it, then he touched the Kanji, then he got the rebound, then the fifth one was also a rebound from basically the fifth one was basically the same as the fourth.
It was the same goal, yeah, basically, yeah.
None of them were assists, so
that's
kind of funny.
You got the assist for the De Bruyne's? Technically,
Mahrez,
and then Grealish got the assist for Gundogan.
Yeah, Grealish.
Oh, that's not too bad. Here's a question here for you, Guy, which from the chat from City Slacker, he said in the chat. So, has Stonesy taken Kyle Walker's spot?
No, I don't think so. Listen, I like Akanji. I do think that we should start Stones and Diaz at center back. Pep really loves him. I think he's fine. I don't have a general like I'm not the type of person who's like, oh, Akanji starting. It's fine if Pep wants to start him. He's a good player.
Yeah.
I would love to see Walker or Rico. I really don't mind. I think basically whichever one Pep prefers. And then Stones, but I'm not mad if Stones plays right back. In fact, I remember last season, like against Real Madrid, I was begging for Stones to be fit because I thought he was our best right back in the absence of Kyle. But speaking of fullbacks, I want to say, like, I'm hearing so many people talking about our left back position, talking about who we should get, Guardiola or Theo Hernandez or Rafael Guerreiro. And I'm genuinely baffled. Do people not think Nathan Ake has been our best defender this season by a huge margin? I'm sorry. I want Nathan Ake to play left back.
I actually agree, but I also would
I don't want a
different kind of left back as well. If you want another one,
sure, you can get another one. I want Nathan Ake to be there. I don't care about like you're saying with the new Grealish. It doesn't necessarily need someone overlapping. I think he's just as good, going centrally. And yeah, I think Nathan Ake provides so much for us, and he's been so good. Why do people want to replace? I don't understand.
You're absolutely right. I guess I would counter it by saying this Ake left back thing is still relatively new, and it wouldn't harm to have a traditional left back if he got injured, because like we haven't. Then back to straight away when we're back to Laporte then or Gomez or whatever, and what is it? Murphy's Law is anything that can happen will happen. So at some point we're going to need a left back because we will do. Because Ake will get injured, or Diaz will get injured, or Laporte will, so he has to play centre back. And I think in general having an experienced left back who probably is more of a crosser could be useful in case like whatever reason KDB's not in the team. We think we could do something, we can whip a cross in. Because I agree, but I don't want it to be like that's why for me when people talk about Guardiola who can play left back. I don't want another left back who could play left back like Ake can because I don't see the point in that. We've already got that. Like,
exactly.
If we sign Guardiola, he's a centre back. That's it. He's not a left back for me because Ake's already left back and he'd be exactly the same. He'd just be another guy. It probably wouldn't be as good actually because it'd take about 2 or 3 years learning how to play in the City kind of way, like it took, Ake did. So like, I actually agree that we can see Ake as a left back. He's absolutely deserves it. He's been immense. He's going to be. he's going to be up there for our player of the season by the end of the year. I think Haaland will end up winning it for the goals and so on. But when we see the vote on mancity.com at the end of the season, he'll probably be in that few, and deservedly so. And that to me that's quite remarkable. Guy, I'm going to leave it there. That's all right, mate. I'm going to jump over to Michael. Pleasure as always, man. Catch you in a bit. Good night. See you later, pal. Top bloke guy. I'm going to go to Michael if you're ready, mate. I'll add you to the stream in 3, 2, 1. Michael, how you doing, my friend? You good?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while, man. What's going on? What did you make of that tonight?
Is it wrong to say that was the best performance all season? Or is that recency bias?
It's subjective, so you're not wrong and you might not be right, but either way, you definitely got a very good fucking shout, pal, because I can't think of any I've enjoyed. The only one I think I enjoyed was probably the United game up until we decided to stop playing, but that was it. Nothing else since, really, has it?
Yeah, fair enough. It was just like, it's not just the 7-0, it's just how dominant it was. Yeah. Like, how many games this season can you remember where we could actually bring on some of the lesser used substitutes?
Yeah.
And it's just like, we don't have to panic after, like, oh my God, are we going to give away the clean? It was just super relaxed and still filled with control right till the end. So for me, it just seemed...
It was nice, really, you're right, because recently we bought on 5 substitutions and things have gone to shit a little bit, haven't they? But they didn't tonight, to be honest. Everyone just sort of kept their heads, kept the ball nicely. Gomez was doing some nice little passing, and it felt like everyone was just calm, didn't it?
Yeah. And even, I won't lie, I saw Calvin Phillips coming on for Rodri, and I got a bit like, right? But even in that 30 minutes, like, I thought he fitted in nicely. The way he was sort of shifting into the back line when needed to be that extra man for a pass, and then also going forward off a little 1-2 so he could then progress the ball. I thought it was impressive. Even though it was only 25 minutes, we were already up by 6. Still, I think, just he deserves a mention.
Absolutely, man. And like we always forget that Calvin Phillips, his season is still in September, in terms of minutes played. It's so early still, and that's not our fault or Guardiola's fault. It's just the fundamental nature of it. He's still in that stage where he's had like 6 or 7 bench appearances, which you'd expect if he'd been fit would be once again mid-September territory, and he's going to need 40 to 50 games in general to get it at Manchester City, because that's what when you look at Grealish and Ake, it's not really time, it's games on the pitch that I've realised. You look at it, it's like around the 40-50 game mark, it's like it clicks. They have a season and a bit, and all of a sudden it's about being on the pitch and experiencing it, I reckon. And Phillips is going to take a lot of time, and if he gets that, it's because he would have deserved it. So fingers crossed he's still here playing 40-50 games for us, because at that point he would have made it. Other than that, though, we talked about Haaland, and I've chatted a little bit about KDB to other people in the chat. Did anyone else stand out for you tonight, man?
Hard to pick another. Okay, no, what? Actually, I have one. And I don't know what the last person who's on name was. I agreed with a lot of his points, but there was one that I did want to bring up.
Oh, go on then.
And I don't know why people keep saying this, but Akanji, I think he played really, really well today.
I agree.
And
I thought he was excellent.
Thank you. People keep scapegoating him and saying he got to be brought out the team. He's the 5th choice center back. He's got to be brought out the team. But why should he when he keeps playing well? I get it. He's not technically the best on the ball compared to other center backs we have on the bench, mainly Laporte. But defensively, I thought he was great. He got 2 assists. I know they're just off the chest scrambling goals, but he's there. And if the ball doesn't come off him, some would say we don't score that extra goal. But I just want to give... I'll put him as my 3rd man of the match behind Haaland and KDB, because I think he deserves a bit more credit, and I think people should start appreciating the signing more in general. Like, he's had to play way more minutes than you would have expected, and overall, as a whole, I think he's done well generally.
You bang on, mate, and I think people have given him. He's got a lot of stick, disproportionate stick, given the expectation that we should have, given how little time he's had to adapt to Manchester City, how much he's been asked to do so quickly. and largely how good he's actually been. Like he's had a couple of games where he made the odd mistake, but he's never been terrible. He's never had a terrible game. He's had the odd game where he's maybe been just average, but then he's had plenty of games where he's been very good. And tonight he was excellent. So when you consider once again that he's £14 million, he's got, like, I would say he's still got a good, by my 40-50 game scale, good 30 games left before he's actually, expecting reasonably to be at Manchester City's level. Yeah, he's been a cracking signing. And I think we probably need to put a little bit of respect on his name. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Michael, because he was good. He was good tonight, and he's still learning, isn't he? That's the thing. How old is he, Kanji? What I say, like 27 or something?
He's 27, I think. I think 27. Yeah.
27. Yeah. So that's a cracking age, isn't it? We signed Fernandinho when he was 28. Yeah, he was great, and ultimately, I guess Pep loves him.
Yeah,
that says it all. How are you feeling about the rest of the Champions League campaign?
Oh, that's a tough question. I despite the score and how good of a game it was, I'm keeping my expectations completely in check this year, because heartbreak every single year is tragic. So I'm not going on to say that might be negative for me, and I think more people would say, back the team, right? But
Well,
last year was the killer for me.
Yeah,
last year was the killer.
I think in general, to protect yourself. I've just read a mad quote, by the way, from Guardiola. This is genuinely true. Guardiola said this. He said, "I'm a failure in the Champions League. I'm sorry. I'm going to explain a secret. Even if we win the Champions League or 3 in a row, I will be a failure. I have 3 idols in my life." This is an exact quote from Sam Lee. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, and Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts came to England a few years ago in the period when Man United were not good. We were better, and she came to Man United. She didn't come to see us. Even though in the Champions League, she cannot make up for Julia Roberts not coming to see us. What the actual fuck?
He's so good. He's just so funny.
He's drunk, isn't he?
It's so good.
He's obviously he's drunk there. He's definitely had a glass of wine, hasn't he? He's definitely been drinking.
Halftime, he probably thought, like, the way we're playing, it's done. Just give me the wine now. He probably just.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That is so just incredible. What are you a Julia Roberts fan? She's a cracking actress.
I have no idea who that was.
And Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. Yeah, he's got good heroes. To be fair, maybe he's just a big fan of Pretty Woman. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's understandable. So there we go. Michael,
it must be if it hurt him that much,
Yeah, he did that. He's hurt for that. What else is Julia Roberts? I can't even think. Like, what are Julia Roberts films? Sorry for the sidetrack here, man, but
it's fine.
That quote did me in. I was like, what is he on about? Julia Roberts was in Erin Brockovich, Notting Hill. Some massive films there. Yeah. Anyway, Michael, thank you very much. I'll catch you soon, man. I'm gonna get. To be honest, I'm getting deliriously tired as well, so I'm gonna get up to Tenzin if that's all right, man. Before I end this
fair
video.
Enough.
Lovely chatting to you, mate. I'll catch you in a bit. See you later, pal. Tenzin, are you there, my friend?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. I can. All good.
All right, sorry for coming in so late.
No, it's all good, mate. It's all good. It's last one tonight. So, how are you feeling, man? After that, did you enjoy that?
Surprisingly, at the beginning of the game, like, I had no anxiety or anything at all. I just thought that we were just gonna win. I don't know why, but I just thought we were gonna win because.
I get that.
And throughout the game, there was, like, from the very beginning, it's just. We look so much in control that it was kind of frightening in a way that, like, this doesn't even feel like a low-level Premier League team. But even although they're Leipzig, I think they're 4th in Bundesliga, so they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But it just felt so easy, so easy. The Leipzig team, throughout the team, they had no pace, they had no strength, they had no height. I mean, even when you look at, that's one of the things that is just absolutely amazing, is that throughout the history, if you look at Guardiola's team, lots of small players, lots of technical players, but just look at our team. It's just height and strength and pace everywhere. You look at those corners and free kicks, and we are, like, absolutely favorites to win every time. And one thing that is kind of annoying, I don't know if it's intentional or if Haaland's screwing it up, is that every time we take a free kick or a corner, he just comes straight to the near post all the time. And then, but the ball goes over him, but then there's another City player who's taller than the defender is getting on the ball. So I don't know if he's told to drag the players out of
It'll
position.
probably be intentional, even if it's not always working. It'll be definitely be intentional, I reckon. Because City have like set piece specialists, don't they, for those reasons. You're right about the size.
Yeah,
I'm
and
looking at the players now, and you got Kanji, Diaz, Ake, Rodri, Stones, Haaland. Then even De Bruyne and Grealish are like 6 foot. You know, like that's a big team, isn't it, physically?
yeah, like Bernardo is pretty short,
But he's
and
tough.
Gundogan is
Even then,
not.
he's tough.
Gundogan
You
is
know,
pretty
like
short.
so.
Yeah,
Gundogan's
yeah,
5'10", I think. So you've got Bernardo is the shortest there, but then after that, the shortest is
yeah,
5'10". You know, like that's a big
yeah.
team.
And if you look at our substitutes, man, like even Walker is strong and big, and we got Laporte who's strong and big, and we just have like team. Everybody knows how to pass, and they're all big and strong. It's just like a FIFA mode where you create your own team out of nowhere, and you just give them all maximum stats. That was just absolutely ridiculous how and and one of the things that I think a lot of people are underestimating our season is because Arsenal have been so good in the first half.
Yeah.
Arsenal in the first half got 50 points. 50 points. If you double that, that's 100 points a season Arsenal. That is why they are ahead of us. It's not that we are bad. We've been playing really well. We literally have a guy who's what 40 something goals now.
It's crazy, isn't it? And I do think in general, like, it's mad that we are still that close to Arsenal despite them having their greatest ever start to a season, you know. That's pretty impressive. That's genuinely pretty impressive. I know they've had a few wobbles and we haven't been anywhere near our best, but I agree largely. I think we've, it's all, as Guardiola said the other day, it's about being there, isn't it? It's about being near, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Be there and then you've got a chance to win it. Like, you can't win it unless you're close, and we are making sure that we're close to everything. And we're through to the quarterfinals now, Tenzin. What's your take on the Champions League this year in general with the other teams involved? Like, who stood out for you?
It's the same as the last speaker. Like I'm not paying any attention, and I'm not trying to have any sort of a mental tension inside of me, because I think if we play really well, we're going to win. Because if you just put Haaland and his goals in our last matches against Real Madrid, and we would have won. We were literally almost winning, and if Haaland was there, we would have gotten one extra goal and we would have won. And I think all we need to do is we need to play at our best. And today everybody just looked so calm and so crisp, and it just felt like the Xavi, Iniesta, and Messi days where they would just like pass it along the midfield, not because there's a pressure. They're just casually passing it around, and all of a sudden the tempo goes up, and then we create a chance, and then somehow Haaland. And one of the things about Haaland is that a lot of the people, they just think that, oh, he's in the right place at the right time, like he's a tappet merchant of some sort. But one thing that if you actually look at him, what he always does is that he is not looking at the player who has the ball. He's looking at the player who's close to that player. So he's anticipating that what will be that guy's action, so he can be in a better position. Obviously, he's not perfect, and now you add his speed, his strength on top of that, and then he gets into that position. It's one thing to know where to be, and another thing is just to have that extra speed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And those two combine, and he's just always seems like in a good position. And some of these headers, the header that I think it was the third goal where he headed the ball, the keeper punched it out, and he kicked it in.
Yeah.
You just look at how much taller he jumped, like how much higher. He was like, his hip was like at the other guy's face.
Yeah, he's an absolute freak.
It is just so.
I mean, pain me to say, Ronaldo used to have a lot of that, where he used to physically be so impressive.
Yeah,
the leaps.
yeah.
Haaland's got that. Haaland can get better at that. That's the thing for me. Is he can get better, and he will get better at that as well, because I think he's obsessed with learning and improving himself. So I think that the thing is, the scary thing is, I think he's going to be even better, mate. And I think that's
and that happens with a lot of players, and like not just football, in other areas as well. Like when they're so good at a lot of the things, like when they're not so good at some of the things, that you just become so clear. So there are clear things that Haaland is not that good at, and one of the thing is dribbling with the ball
Yeah.
when he does not have anybody near him, because he always tries to have the ball kind of close to him, so he's touching the ball and dribbling forward at a speed. But there are a lots of times Salah does this really well, is that whenever he sees a space in front, he hits the ball forward and runs after it. And if Haaland needs to learn how to do that, because he's so much faster,
Yeah.
so many times he just needs to knock the ball forward and run at them. And but yeah, but he, I mean, the commentators were saying that there's a street name after the last guy who actually scored like a 38 goals a season or something like that, and he's already past that.
It's crazy, mate.
Yeah,
It's
it will be
he's
ridiculous.
getting
Like, it
50
will be
goals a
ridiculous.
season minimum, I reckon.
It will be ridiculous.
Tenzin,
But one last question
Yeah.
for you. Who do you think is a better finisher, Haaland or R9?
R9 was one of my favourite players growing up. He probably was my favourite player growing up. It's probably Ronaldo, but the R9, he probably was. He's a better player by a long way, and that's not me putting down Haaland. It's weird because we don't actually see like very similar strikers of the ball. Actually, I would say genuinely they are. Actually, they've both got a very instinctive finishing ability. I would like to. The thing is, you saw R9 score a lot more solo goals, obviously, so he's definitely better forward. He just is. He's a better technical player by a long way. But finishing, look, there's not. To be honest, there's not many people in general. The variety of finishing is probably not quite as big for Haaland. Like his variety of finishing isn't that wide. But then it may be because he's not asked himself to do it, if that makes sense. You know, he's not really pushed himself out to positions where he doesn't need to be. Like he's not taking shots from 20 yards because he doesn't need to. You know, he sort of doesn't need to. But to me, Ronaldo, the real Ronaldo, as I call him, Ronaldo Luis Nazario, is probably the greatest forward of all time. That's why I see it.
I agree. I think he for me, if I'm creating an all-time 11, he is my center forward.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think because R9 was so good at creating his own chances, but still having a similar number to Haaland, that's just making me think that there must be some of the other things that Haaland must be doing much better than him.
Well, yeah, I think Haaland's movement is freakish. Like I think, as you talked about earlier, his understanding of the game, and once again, his hunger as well. I think his hunger makes him. He's also just a phenomenal finisher. He really is. He's a genuinely brilliant finisher. Like you look at his conversion and his shot target. It's just excellent. He just does not miss the target. He rarely misses the target. You know, and that is hard.
He had
to do.
8 shots and 5 goals.
Yeah, that and how were they all on target? I think they were, weren't they? That's the crazy thing about it. They were all hit the target.
I remember.
Yeah, I think there were 8 shots, 5 goals, but 8 shots on target. It's hard to do that. It's very hard to do that. But that says it all about his quality. Tenzin, mate, I am exhausted, so I might have to leave it there. Yeah, I've not slept very much recently, so I'm going to leave it there, mate. But it's been a pleasure chatting to you, pal. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks.
I was going to chat to Scott, but I think he just disappeared. I saw him hanging around. I'll give him a second to see if he pops back in. If not, I might have to leave it there because it's been a long, long day in the world of Manchester City Football Club, and I'm a very, very happy man. Honestly, thank you very much, please, for watching this video. City are excellent. City are through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Tomorrow, of course, I think it's Friday actually is when the draw is. Tomorrow we'll see who's coming into the draw. Liverpool will be there, of course. I think Napoli, Liverpool. It's going to be them, let's be honest. Not Liverpool, sorry, Real Madrid. Real Madrid and Napoli are going to be there. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Thank you for watching. You're all awesome. Like, subscribe, go watch a match reaction, and of course the highlights of the watch along if you want to. Bye bye.